Jio is up to something interesting. Again. They spent 20,000 crores to earn the digital rights to stream the IPL. But why are they streaming it for free then?
Jio Cinema reported a blockbuster opening for the Indian Premier League.
Jio Cinema पर टाटा IPL ने viewership के सारे रिकॉर्ड ध्वस्त कर दिए हैं.
The stats are looking phenomenal.
Well, sure. The obvious reason is to get more people out of the platform, get more viewers. But there's a larger picture here. You see, Jio has promised advertisers to get 500 million people onto Jio Cinema this IPL. We went deep into really figuring out Jio's growth strategy here, and it's mind-boggling. Today, we'll get into how Jio is going to use IPL to become a super app, and why it also might be the beginning of the end for many Indian OTT companies. Let's dig in. Before we dig deep into how IPL will become a super app, let me give you some context about the sheer numbers that Jio has been dealing with. Now, if you've been following the hype around IPL, you'll have seen Jio everywhere. The transformation of how Indians see a digital stream with 4K, multiple cameras, commentary, etc. has really caught people's attention. But streaming this quality for free, this came across as a minor shock. But to give you an idea, Jio bought the rights to stream IPL digitally for 20,500 crores compared to Star spending 16,000 crores in 2018 and Sony, which paid 8,200 crores in 2008. But something that people miss here is that Disney also spent 23,575 crores to stream IPL across the Indian subcontinent, but on TV. Now, here's the interesting bit. For the first time ever, the ad spends on digital are forecasted to take over TV spends. According to NPA, digital will see a total ad spend of $350 million. That's 3x up from 2022. And TV will see a spend of $220 million, which is half from 2022. And this is where it gets interesting. Because remember, Jio has promised its advertisers a reach of 500 million people, but 100 million concurrent users. That's crazy. And results have already started kicking in. Jio Cinema reported 147 crore views on the opening weekend of IPL 23, which was higher than the entire season of IPL on Disney Hotstar last year. This is where the Jio ambition kicks in. At scale, Jio wants to use IPL to become a super app, which is what companies like Disney Hotstar and Sony don't want to. While IPL is a massive content piece for other companies, for Jio, it's a little cog in the wheel. So let's dig into the 3 core things Jio will do to use IPL and become a super app. First, they'll achieve massive scale. See, IPL is an acquisition hook to acquire users all across the country, and a lot of them will come from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Plus, Jio is doing very interesting things, like splitting 1-minute ad slots into 2, thereby giving more space for more impressions on the ads. So for example, take a 1-minute slot. Instead of running one ad for 1 minute, they've broken it up into 2 30-second slots. This makes sure that more advertisers are able to get more advertisements in and thereby generate more impressions for each advertiser. But the real challenge is to get people to tune into the digital stream, which is why you'll see a whole host of streaming options coming in. For example, them switching to a 4K stream, multiple camera angles, commentary options. This is all a part of the play to get users enticed to tune into the online stream, not the boring old TV streams. Second, they solve for massive retention. This is a bigger net to really solve for prolonged hours of watching. They want to retain users for longer on the app. And so again, all the features around camera angles, having access to better quality, having access to more commentary languages are all features to make sure viewers retain on the app for longer and choose digital streaming versus TV, which is a broadcast-only medium and doesn't allow you to switch. And it's working, by the way. The average time spent per viewer per match has grown by 60% to touch 57 minutes compared to previous IPL's first weekend when the matches were live streamed by Disney Hotstar. You must be wondering what really happens when a user is retained for longer durations on the app, right? You'll not only watch IPL anymore, you'll tinker around. And that's what Jio wants you to do. So when you tune in to watch the IPL, you're really tuning into the Jio Cinema app. But you don't only have IPL to look at. Jio Cinema merging with Voot, Alt Balaji, and so many more of its content plays make content available to you straight up. And not only that, imagine Jio having access to actually 500 million people. The cross-selling and upselling opportunities become tremendous. And if you see the ad lineup for IPL this year, it's not all external brands. There are many Jio brands who are a part of the ad mix. The idea is to keep viewers engaged in the Jio ecosystem and give them a taste of a one-stop shop for everything. And this is important for any company to become a super app. So while Jio has figured out things like calls and messages, they were great acquisition hooks. But content as a play allows it to retain viewers on the app for hours. And when you have access to millions spending hours on your app, the opportunities to monetize them become endless. But why does this work for Jio and nobody else? This is where we come to the third point, the Jio Flywheel.
Jio is really playing the game for the long run. It's not necessarily looking at saying that, hey, we spent almost like $3 billion on acquiring the content rights for this. The way that they are looking at it is very long term, very strategic, and very much in a manner which drives the Jio Flywheel. What it means is that, hey, get a lot of people to move away from TV onto digital so that they watch on Jio Cinema. Their watch time increases. Now, once the watch time increases, they will need more recharges because we know that a 3-hour match itself will take up to like almost 2 GB data per day.
Correct.
More people recharging means the ARPU of Jio's telecom increases. That's one. We've also seen that Jio Broadband is the #1 player on the wireless broadband in India. So again, they're trying to expand the wireless broadband market also. And by the way, if we just look at the list of sponsors, it also includes AJio, it also includes JioMart, which are also Reliance Group companies.
But before we get into that, if you've been liking these Growth Insight videos, you will love our bi-weekly newsletter, Growth Shots. It's subscribed by over 80,000 founders and growth leaders from companies like Uber, DoorDash, Razorpay, Cred, and many other startups in the ecosystem. If you want super interesting growth insights delivered to your mailbox weekly, head on over to the link in the description and sign up for the free newsletter. Okay, let's get back to it. You see, IPL may work for Jio and not any other company because of the way Jio builds products. While small players look at specific niches to grow into, Jio has historically looked at capturing the entire pie. Look at this pyramid of household incomes, for example. While most players stop solving beyond the middle class, Jio thrives by serving the tier 2 and tier 3 population. This is the underserved population, and it's very similar to what WeChat has achieved in China. WeChat boasts massive scale, which is having 900 million Chinese users and massive engagement, with 35% of its users spending an average of 4 hours a day on the app. This is exactly what Jio wants to do. With their plan to tap into at least 500 million viewers, Jio is not playing the normal game of free to paid users. It's building an audience which gives it massive potential to tap into cross-sell and upsell and advertising revenue and so much more. For comparison, YouTube has 514 million monthly active viewers in India, and it made around $30 billion from ad revenue worldwide, contributing to about 11% of Google's ad revenue. Imagine Jio doing that in India. While the Jio launch brought in millions to the Jio ecosystem in 2015, calls and messages were a great hook, sure, but they didn't really solve for massive engagement. But with IPL, the FIFA World Cup, and a massive content library, Jio unlocks the engagement piece and it gets people to be on its app for hours. And think about it, Jio Finance, JioMart, and so many more of Jio's products coming into one app. And once that happens, Jio will truly begin its journey to creating a massive super app.